Hello there. Welcome to this video where I'm gonna talk about some ways to creatively use a Portastudio TASCAM 246 or any Portastudio that maybe has a tape, or this one has some really cool functions that I think will make it special inside of this video. I want to shout out some of the other people who have actually done in-depth reviews of this device, and I would highly recommend checking out their videos if you don't know what this does, how it works, what these knobs do, what these buttons do. Those people will tell you that, and it'll give you a lot of insight into what's going on here. Cool. I want to hop into my first thing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is recording directly to the tape and directly out of the preamps. So, if you go look at a diagram, maybe I'll flash one on the screen quickly of the back here. There's a ton of routing options where you can route the preamps directly out of the back and into what you might want, like a reel-to-reel or like a DAW in my instance. So I actually have my first two preamps here, the outputs of them going into my DAW, and then these two are going essentially routed into the tape. So if I'm recording stuff into the tape, I use the 1-2, and then stuff into the tape is 3-4, and then stuff into my DAW is through the bus 1-2. So helps me keep organized by using this both for tape and for the purposes of like the preamp color and like recording guitars or bass or whatever through it. When recording to the tape, in the review video I mentioned earlier, he does record to the tape, and a lot of people are like directly recording to the tape and having the tape be like the recording of the music to the tape being like the sound of the song that they're creating. And I think that's really cool, but I kind of use this more for like sampling, because I do a lot of sampling in Ableton, and this is really awesome for like creating samples. I'm gonna play what I have on here. It's not really a sample, it's kind of more like a jam, but I'm gonna see if maybe I can turn it into a sample somehow. It's just kind of like a quick jam here. Cool, so I pitched it down and I'm soloing this bass right now. That'd be a cool sample for sure. The guitar's a little warbly. And then this is definitely all like more like a sample ambient kind of stuff. Ooh, yeah, it's kind of coming in hot. So I'm also do like a lot of like more sound design and like ambient stuff on here. Working on like a podcast where I'm using some of these textures like this. Cool. You get the idea. So that was me stopping and now I'm rewinding. So recording onto the tape, very fun for sound design and stuff. You can record songs onto here, like if you're working on some indie songs, like got some jams, like, or if you're really trying to like produce something onto it. But really, I really like recording stuff onto it with the idea that I'm going to be recording back into Ableton and then essentially just using all the cool colors, saturation, and like vibes that this is creating for an additional production that I'm going to be working on. I think that's just more aligned with like my style of music. You know, I record from the preamps directly into my computer. The preamps sound really good, and I do a little bit in my last video where I talk about the difference between this and the SSL. You can get some nice crunch, and it kind of just throws the sound back like a decade versus like plugging right into your interface, or versus even plugging into a more clean preamp like the SSL. This just kind of helps you like cut a corner, you know, if that's part of the sound you're going for, which, you know, maybe I'll be working on like some lo-fi music, or I'll be working on like literally like an indie guitar solo or something, and like using this, running my pedals and my amp and stuff through here can just help add that extra crunch, but also like help round out the sound so it's like compressed. And the second part I wanted to talk about in this is actually connecting this to your DAW to send samples from your DAW into here. So in my example, I'm using Ableton, and I'm sending samples out of Ableton, and in this case some drums into this. So let me go ahead and hit start. Cool, so you can hear, I can use this low end EQ to just add some nice low end, and I'm kind of peaking it out, and it's adding a nice crispiness to the whole bus in general. I'm sending the entire bus into this stereo group right here, so yeah, I like this workflow a lot. I've been mixing a lot of songs like this versus recording onto the tape. I've been using this as an external audio effect in Ableton, which I can show you really quick. So in Ableton, I just have it going out and then back into like this drum bus and a bus compressor. And that's how I'm doing this routing from Ableton into the TASCAM. And yeah, I've been, you know, I have my whole rack over here that I'm running like, I think the guitars are going through this HRK. Can hear like kind of blowing out when you push it too hard, which could potentially be a vibe, but not for this song. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to review in this video, is using it in these two ways, utilizing the tape and then utilizing the DAW in the two ways. And then, you know, your preamps are just awesome, beautiful beings, and cool EQ, and it's just a way to glue stuff together, really. I like to use this on my drum bus. Like, either I'll send like, you know, kick, snare, hats, cymbals, or like overheads or whatever, or I will just do what I'm doing now, which is like putting the send on my bus, and then I'll use these things for other things. But this is definitely one of my favorite ways to use the 246, and I would say, you know, nowadays this is probably the way to get the most value out of it, as I've had some people just come and like run stems through here and have a great time doing so. So yeah, thanks so much for watching the video. If you have any questions about this or ideas on what I should review, please comment, and I'm definitely gonna making videos about this because I think it's really cool for modern production, and it's crazy to see the prices go up. I was lucky to buy this locally from like a tape guy who had a technician working on it pretty consistently, so it's like in really awesome condition, and I'm also like taking insanely good care of it as well. So love.